Why? 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 Why?
City boy! City boy!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And today, man, we got a special one going. Because I'm going to make this an anniversary thing. We got a twofer for you today, okay? Because today we're doing why WWE will continue to suck in 2026. All right, this will be a more anniversary thing because I did this same video last year, why WWE will continue to suck in 2025, and it was completely prophetic. All right, completely prophetic. If you go back and you watch that video, it was completely prophetic. But this time around, we're doing it in the 13 Reasons Why format. All right, so it will be structured in a 13 Reasons Why format. We're going to run down the list of all 13 reasons why WWE sucks and why it will continue to suck in 2026, because I don't see any of these things changing, any of these things being altered at any point unless Triple H is fired and we get some actual wrestling fans and writers. Okay, we need writers in creative. So we're going to go ahead, run those down. Forgive my voice. You're going to have to forgive me because I'm going to, I'm a little under the weather today, okay? So we're going to go over everything that I wanted to talk about for a little while now, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of things have been going on, all right? I ain't going to make this too long-winded, but I did want to go ahead and start this video off by saying this, all right? Getting out of these holidays, getting out of this holiday season and everything, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure it was a tough time for a lot of us around here, you know what I'm saying? No matter where we are in the world right now, things just aren't like they used to be. Family isn't what it used to be. Friends aren't necessarily what they used to be. And life is very different. We're moving into a different world, with the technology and, so community is something that's very important to me and to all of us, really, because it's just a part of our human nature. We got to be a part of a community. We got to be a part of something. So I appreciate everybody that, came into my comments, like, oh, you're back. And, I appreciate all of that sincerely because, I'm probably doing the best that I've ever done in my life. I'm definitely more successful than I've ever been. I got a great, family, everything, you know what I mean? But, still sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough and you forget to take a step back, smell the flowers, and just appreciate what you have, because really, what you have is more than what you deserve at any point in life. That's just how you got to think about it sometimes. That anything that you want, you got to work for it, and that's what we're gonna do this year. That's what 2026 is gonna bring us. All right, so don't think that this is just some kind of negative rant channel, because that's not what this is. All right, we talk about the art. All right, the art form of writing. All right, and we use WWE as a case study. So let's go ahead and get out of that, and let's move into the fucking topic of the video, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with reason number 1. We're gonna go ahead and get it out of the way. It's Triple H's ego, obviously, okay? I didn't want to make this one too long-winded, right? Because this is obvious, all right? Triple H, his ego is completely out of control. How do we know this? Because Triple H is on everything. He is everywhere. He's in all the commercials. He's doing his own TV show on the side, WWE Unreal, that I still have not watched to this day. I thought I wanted to watch it, but I had no interest in watching it and exposing myself to everything that goes on behind the scenes in WWE. I just don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's really just going to break the immersion even more. I've never been a behind the scenes kind of guy, as far as like, when I'm watching a movie. If I ever bought a movie back in the day when I had my DVD player and it had like the behind the scenes, like the director's cut, where you can have the actors talking. I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to watch Unreal at the end of the day. But he has his own TV show going on and everything. This motherfucker, he's in every single ad. He's doing all the voiceovers, everything. He's everywhere, okay? So Triple H's ego was so bad, okay? It's gotten so bad to the point where Triple H decided to insert himself into John Cena's final Raw, okay? I believe it was either his final Raw or his second to final Raw, but I believe it was his final appearance, right? Where he came out and he cut like a fucking 8-minute promo before he finally brought John Cena out, and everybody's just waiting, just begging for John Cena, and Triple H is begging for adulation, just begging for cheers and begging for pops, because he needs that. He wants to feel that he's just as big of a deal as John Cena, because Triple H, he's the writer, right? He's the CCO, the Chief Content Officer. He means a whole lot to the business. So he had to be at the forefront. He had to be at the head of anything that goes on that's big in WWE, any big events, WrestlePalooza, the first Netflix anniversary, all of that shit had Triple H's face all over it. Even the upcoming WrestleMania ads, the person voicing over and the person who's, actually superimposed in all of these advertisements is Triple H. So let's just go ahead, just throw that one right out there. That is completely killing the product, because Triple H is not a character in the show, but he inserts himself into the show constantly, and that breaks the immersion completely in the show. So if you're a casual viewer, you're like, why the fuck is the writer of the show constantly inserting himself in the show if he's not a character? That doesn't make sense. So you cut the shit off, right? Now, let's go ahead, get off of this one, because, we can talk about this shit all damn day. Let's go ahead and move on to reason number 2, why WWE sucks and will continue to suck in 2026, and that is the general managers absolutely fucking suck. Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, they are the GMs of the respective brands, all right? GMs have pretty much always, I won't say always, but, at least for the better half of the last 30 years, 40 years, pretty much, GMs, presidents, authority figures in WWE, they have been a central part, a central theme, a central figure in WWE, and it's been for a reason. It's because it works, right? General managers, you could name so many memorable general managers off the top of your head, from Teddy Long to Vicky Guerrero, right? Stephanie McMahon and the Authority, the Authority, right? Like all these different authority figures that have been in WWE for all this time, and they were actual characters in the show, right? Like, they weren't just arbiters of matches. That's not what they did. People didn't just come to them, complain to them, and ask for matches, and then they just got their matches. That's not how the relationship of the superstar and the general manager works. The general manager had their own motivations, their own plans, their own schemes. They had friends, they had allies, they had enemies, and they had people they liked, didn't like, they had favorites, right? And all of this was shown on screen, right? This wasn't something that was just, kind of, they beat around the bush on, you know what I mean? Like, that, something that they just barely touch on. Like, we see that Cody Rhodes is one of Nick Aldis' favorites, and we see that allies, the general managers, they're baby faces, basically. They're allies pretty much with all the baby faces. Anytime a baby face comes and complains to them, whatever I can do, I'll do whatever I can for you. Do you need me to suck you off? Do you need a cheeseburger? Whatever the baby faces need, that's all that the general managers, they kowtow to everything. They do anything the baby faces want. Nick Aldis, he'll do anything for Cody Rhodes, anything. All right, and it's actually kind of creepy. Like, it gets to a point where it's actually kind of creepy. So we're at a stage with the general managers where they're actually a drag on the show, because they don't do anything, and because they have no character, they have no charisma, and they're not allowed to do anything besides be arbiters of matches. So All they do is stand around, not do shit. They don't have power. The only thing they do is come out there with security. Nick All just throws his glasses. He needs a drink every fucking Monday, right? Because of just how hard it is and how stressful it is to be an arbiter of matches. I'm sure it is stressful to be a fucking babysitter to a bunch of 50-year-olds, because that's basically all that's on the roster at this point, right? Just a bunch of 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, people in their late 30s, right? Just a bunch of elderly people, and you have to act like a babysitter because everybody's acting like children, because that's what this show is written for. It's written for children at this point, all right? Because Triple H, he's not a writer, right? So all he does, he puts a couple points on the board, like, all right, I want you guys to have you guys are friends, and then somebody's gonna betray it. We're gonna keep this cooking for 6 months, okay? We're gonna cook it for 6 months. You guys are gonna have 8 matches, all right? And the people are gonna love this because you're gonna have bangers. You're gonna have banger after 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 banger, and the people are gonna love it. But we don't, obviously, because the viewership is going down. Week after week after week, the viewership is going down. So obviously we don't love it. And the general managers are a big part of that. Let's go ahead and move on to reason number 3 why WWE sucks and will continue to suck in 2026. And that is the lies and the false advertising. Now, I spoke about this during my SummerSlam review. All right. I said WWE should be sued for false advertising. Now, they said they spent a year advertising that Cardi B would be hosting SummerSlam. Okay? That's what they said. Cardi B would be they said Cardigan Bardigan would be hosting SummerSlam. That's what they said. That is not what happened. Okay? Cardigan Bardigan came out there. She cut a 3.5 second promo. All right? She welcomed the people to, SummerSlam. And then we never saw Cardigan Bardigan again. All right? We saw her again on night 2, but she was just in the crowd. All right? She was just in the crowd. She did not. That is not hosting, Triple H, WWE, TKO, Silver Lake, whoever the fuck I got to talk to, Nick Khan, Lee Fitting, Michael Hayes. Who do I have to speak to let you understand that hosting doesn't mean that you just open the show? That makes you an opener. All right, and if she was the opener of she was a very shitty opener. I was not hyped for SummerSlam an iota more. All right, I already wasn't hyped for SummerSlam because I knew it was gonna be a goggle of shit, just like most of 2025 was. 99% of 2025 was a goggle of shit, and that's what I expected from SummerSlam. So I didn't expect much. I didn't expect much from Cardi B, but I did fucking expect at least for her to do something, right? I didn't expect for her just to open up the show 2.5 minutes, right? And yell into the microphone, scream into the microphone, and then that's it. Then we have the most recent thing, all right? And this is something that WWE has actually done consistently for the last couple of years, because Triple H, he loves AEW more than he loves WWE. Like, Triple H is Tony Khan's biggest fan. All right, that's why all the champions pretty much in WWE are people that have been they've been in AEW at some point, right? Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, CM Punk. Right? All these people, they've been in AEW at some point. In Ethan Page down in NXT, Ricky Starks down in NXT, right? All these people, NXT AEW people, excuse me, right? These are all AEW people. So Triple H is obviously their biggest fan. So the biggest problem that Triple H has is that he uses AEW to market WWE. Right? He uses, like, they used, Adam Pearce used in that in his most recent Instagram or whatever, Twitter promo, whatever it was, right? His most recent social media promo, where he said, the whole, who's gonna break the walls down. They knew what the fuck they were doing when they did that. We're not gonna sit here and try to play coy like they didn't know, like, oh, it was just, a term of a figure of speech. No, who the fuck talks like that? Let's see who's gonna break the walls down. Like, who talks like that? Nobody speaks like that. So that was a very purposeful thing. Like, they did that shit on purpose. But they're going to act like, somebody said this, some dirt sheet said, like, I saw this, like, it was like a tweet. I don't know if this was real. I don't know if this was an actual quote that CM Punk said. But if he did, he's a punk bitch for this, because what the fuck are you talking about? He's talking about some dirt sheet said that this person was going to show up and then they didn't show up. Well, that's not what happened here. Adam Pearce said that, he made a very big tease, a ridiculous tease, that Chris Jericho was supposed to show up on Monday Night Raw for the anniversary episode, and he didn't. All right, so now the people are a little upset about that, because a lot of people tuned in to see if Chris Jericho was going to, show up at the end of the show, somewhere during the show, if Chris Jericho was going to show up, and he didn't. Now, I didn't think he was going to show up. A lot of people in the community, they thought that WWE, they wouldn't tease something like that and then not follow through with it. But I know that they would, because they did the same shit with Cardi B. They said she was going to host the show, and then she opened the show. I'm not surprised that they would lie, or at least put it out there that, somebody may be there, somebody might be there, right? And then they never show up. Just like they did with The Rock. They did the same thing with The Rock for WrestleMania. They had merch for The Rock showing up at WrestleMania, for this most recent WrestleMania. And what was it, WrestleMania 41, I believe, right? They had merch for The Rock to show up, and Rock never showed up. We got Travis Scott. So the lies are out of control. They should be sued. All right, I don't give a fuck what we're talking about. There should be a class action lawsuit for false advertising, because they constantly do it. They constantly overhype these shows and never deliver. But that is what it is. We move on to reason number 4. And reason number 4 is the women's division. Now, we have to talk about this, man. We got to talk about this, man. Jade Cargill, she has no chance. Jade Cargill has no chance to ever get over in WWE, because she's fighting the likes of Michin and BFAB right now. Triple H, like I said in my Triple H's racist video, he's very calculated. He's very fucking calculated at how he books things. Triple H made a concerted effort to get everybody who had any name value in the women's division out of the championship title picture and into the tag team championship title picture. So now you have main eventers for the women's division. Names like Charlotte Flair, names like Alexa Bliss, names like Asuka, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, right? All these people. Nia Jax, right? Lash Legend, because she can be a main event superstar in the women's division. They are all tag teamed up. They're all teamed up and going after the tag titles, while Jade Cargill and Stephanie Vaquer, the two, non-white champions that he has currently, right? They are both in a position where they're not able to have any main event talent go after them. Triple H is pulling out Nikki Bella out of retirement so she can fight Stephanie Vaquer. Raquel Rodriguez, who has been a jobber for the last 6 years, she is being pulled up for a fucking WWE championship bout, right? Like, how does this work? Or a world championship bout, right? How does that work? How does that work? How do you calculate it now? All right, he spent 3 months moving all of the women, all of the main event stars out of the championship, the world championship division, right? Becky Lynch included, because she's in the Intercontinental Championship division right now. And I mean, she's getting up there in age, so that actually makes sense. So if you're going to do that, then that would make sense, right? But none of the women that fucking Jade Cargill or Stephanie Vaquer are facing at this point are anyone with any name value. Stephanie Vaquer could be going up against somebody like a Liv Morgan, but instead she's going up against Raquel Rodriguez. Instead she's going up against fucking what's her name, Nikki Bella, right? That what are we talking about here? And these are supposed to be great champions, fighting champions, and all this, but the people that they're fighting, nobody gives a shit about. And I think that Triple H just forgets about the women's division completely altogether sometimes. He'll just throw a couple of matches on a card and he'll say, oh yeah, you see I'm putting care into the women's division. But he's not. He's not. Look at the women's U.S. title division right now, right? Look at that division right now. You got Julia and Chelsea Green, two heels going at it. right? You got heels dropping the title back and forth to each other, dropping the U.S. title back and forth to each other, and we're supposed to care about it? You're not building up any baby faces in that division over there. It seems like all the baby faces are in the Intercontinental division on Raw, and then all the heels are in the U.S. title division on SmackDown. I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand why we don't have baby faces coming up. Why don't we have more NXT call-ups if there's nobody to use? I mean, there's hundreds of people on the roster, but we see the same 4 or 5 people every single week, the same 4 or 5 women every single week on each respective show, right? We see the same women. Rhea Ripley, Asuka, right? Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and we see Jade Cargill, right? And Jade Cargill is fighting nobodies, literal jobbers. When's the last time BFAB won a match? And somehow she's in a match with the WWE champion, which could be okay if there was a storyline attached to it, right? If there was a storyline attached to BFAB being, in a fight with Jade Cargill, where it was something that actually meant something, not just, oh, she came to me and she tested me, so I'm gonna show these bitches who's boss, right? Like, I'm gonna show these bitches I'm the champion for the reason, right? I'm gonna show these bitches like that's boring. That's so boring because you're not showing these bitches nothing. Especially if you're going to have a damn 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute match, in the case of like Stephanie Vaquer, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, right? If you're going to have a fucking 30-minute match with these hoes, like nobody cares what kind of, I have so much fire. I have so much fire, the fuego in me. And I must keep going. Yeah, I want more. I'm hungry. If you're hungry, go eat something, motherfucker. Catering is in the back. Give up the championship to somebody else who can actually speak English in this motherfucker. Or put this motherfucker in stories that make her compelling, that use her characteristics and use her strengths and diminish her weaknesses. That's what you should be doing, but they're not. But Triple H is not doing it, right? He's not in a position to do that because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He thinks that if they go out there, have 15-minute, 20-minute bangers, then the people will love them. And that's not what it is. We didn't love Chyna because she had 15, 20-minute bangers. We loved Chyna because she was badass, because she had great storylines. We didn't love Melina, Sable, fucking Trish Stratus, and all these women. One, because they were fine as fuck. Let's just get that out the way, right? But also, they were used properly. They were used in a way that they would be memorable. I'm not going to remember any of these hoes. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. I'm probably not even going to remember Becky Lynch, if I'm being honest with you. Like, 10 years down the line after she retires and all that shit, I'm not going to be like, oh, that match that Becky Lynch had. I'm not going to do that because I don't care, never have gotten onto the hype train of Becky Lynch, like I said before, many times. I'm never going to call a woman the man. This is not, you got me fucked up. It is what it is, right? Seth Rollins can do that. That's his wife. If he wants to call his girl the man of the house, then that's fine by me. You know what I'm saying? To each his own, but I can't do it. I can't go, right? And everyone in the women's division also, let's just get this out of the way, is boring, right? Everyone cuts the same promo, and this is a problem with everybody. Everybody cuts the same promo, right? But definitely in the women's division, nobody has any character. Maxine Dupree is money. She was money. The problem is you don't know what to do with her. You got a baddie like Maxine Dupree, and you're not putting her in a Miss Elizabeth role, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a baddie like Maxine Dupree, and you're not using her properly. She's not a love interest of somebody. That's what Maxine Dupree is, man. She is a diva. She is a Divas era type of girl. Like, that's who she should be somebody's valet. Somebody's love interest. Everybody's the apple of everybody. Like, come on now. And Maxine Dupree, and that goes for a lot of women. A lot of these women are fucking gorgeous in WWE, and they're stripped of all their femininity. But we'll get into that one in a different reason. So let's go ahead and get into reason number 5, and this is the tag division. All right, the tag team division in WWE is completely shit. All right, and that goes for the women too. All right, because there's nothing. All right, there's nothing. All right, like for the women, what we have Asuka, Charlotte Flair. Like they had the whole thing with the War Games match, and we're still going. Right, we're almost 2 months removed. I think we're beyond 2 months removed at this point from War Games, and we're still having matches based on War Games, right? Matches that we were having before War Games, and then we got the War Games match, and now we're having more matches. Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Nim, Rhea Ripley, Nim. All these hoes are still beefing, still. So nothing changed. Right, and that's like one of the biggest reasons. Nothing ever changes, right? But as far as the tag team division on the men's side, on any given week, I can hardly tell you who the fuck the tag team champions are. I mean, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, they just lost it on, and it's crazy because I just watched. They just lost it to the Usos. So the Usos are back in the tag team division, right? Because Jey Uso failed. I won't say Jey Uso failed. Triple H failed, right? Triple H failed Jey Uso. Jey Uso could have been something special in the mid-card division, right? He could have been something great in the mid-card division, but Triple H got too big of a head and said, I can make this guy a main eventer. I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck put that thought in his brain, right? Just because he saw a bunch of kids yeeting, he was like, oh yeah, they're gonna love it if he gets a world heavyweight championship around his waist. No, the fuck we would not. And even if we would, it would have to have a story, a good one, a good story behind it. But of course, that's not what we got, right? So now they're back in the tag team division, the Usos. All right, and who else, right? The New Day, Judgment Day, Viking Raiders, DIY, Fraxium. Like, it seems like we have a decent amount of tag teams, but none of them are doing anything. None of them are doing shit on a week-to-week basis. They may come out and have a tag team match. There was the whole tag team turmoil of 2025, right? Y'all remember this? Where for like 3 months straight, the tag teams were just brawling. Like every fucking week, all the tag teams, they'd come out and they would all brawl. It'd be 12, 16 dudes out there in the middle of the arena just brawling for no fucking reason. Like I genuinely to this day, and I did multiple reviews on this shit. To this day, I could not tell you what it was over. Right? Like 16 people were consistently for like 3 months straight on site fighting whenever they saw each other, beefing, right? Hard as fuck for no reason. And we were supposed to care about this for what? I don't know. Like I genuinely don't know, right? The Street Profits, they're nowhere to be found, right? The Street Profits won the title, and just like every single other champion, they win the title and they go to catering, right? They win the title, they get a vacation. That's what it seems like. It seems like you win the title and you get a vacation, right? You don't have the title, you get a vacation, right? If you're not one of the workhorses, quote unquote, right? One of the great in-ring week-to-week guys like Carmelo Hayes, like an Ilya Dragunov, right? You're not on the show every fucking week, right? You're just not, especially on SmackDown. 'Cause SmackDown is fucking gutted, right? Like, but like you're not on the show every week, right? You get every vacation possible, right? Like, so the Usos, they win their tag team championships last week, I believe, and they come out and cut a promo on Monday night and do nothing else. They come out and cut a promo in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? A chromo. We'll call it a chromo. Fuck it. We're making up words over here. He's cutting a promo in the crowd, right? Or they are. And it sucked, for one. And then for two, they did nothing. This is what I'm saying. The champions, they do nothing. They all come out and they say the same shit. Oh, we're going to fight. We're going to be fighting champions. I want whoever's next. Like, okay, so why? Right? Like, why not just not fight anybody? You got the championship. Why not just take it? You know what I mean? Why not just be selfish with it? How long were you fighting for these championships? Why not just keep it for yourself and try to hold on to it, run away with it? You know what I mean? Give me something, right? Like, why do you want to fight everybody? Why do you want to be a fighting champion? What is that? What motivates you to do some shit like that? Why would you want to go out there every single week and have a match? Right? Why would you want to go out there every single week and potentially get your ass kicked, potentially get beat up, potentially lose your title? Like, you have to make these things make sense. And you can't make it make sense by just saying, oh, well, I want to be like the greats. Well, you're never going to be like the greats, because the greats didn't want to be like anybody. They wanted to be like themselves. Period, point blank. There you go. That's where you're fucking up, right? The Rock wanted to be a football player, right? Roman Reigns wanted to be a football player. John Cena wanted to be a football player, bodybuilder, right? All these people, they had different aspirations, and they became the biggest stars of all time. Stone Cold, right? These guys, they became the biggest stars of all time, right? Because they had greater aspirations than WWE champion. If you want to be WWE champion, that's fine. But that can't be your main aspiration. If you want to be a champion in WWE, that's fine. But it can't be your main aspiration, because that's boring. It's not relatable. Because I can't be WWE champion. I mean, I'm sure I can. I'm sure Nate the Great could be. I have more charisma than all these fuckers. It is what it is, right? Every single one of these WWE superstars right now, currently, because after John Cena has left, I have more charisma than him, and that's sad. Okay, because I don't have much. I do not have much charisma, and I have more than everyone on the show combined in my right pinky toe, right? Alone, right? The rest of my body, I'm overwhelming these sons of bitches, okay? So, we're at a point where not just the tag division, right? All the divisions are fucked off, but the tag team division in particular, in both the men and the it just seems like it gets no care at all. Nothing goes into it. No storylines, just brawls, just mild confrontations with each other, and then we have a 15, 20, 30-minute match with 16 ad breaks in the middle. You're going to get slammed on the Slim Jim table. You're going to get your head slammed into the DoorDash logo on the mat, right? That's what we're going to do here, right? So we're going to go ahead, move on. And number 6, we're not going to spend too much time on this. The matches are too fucking long. Matches are too long. Like, I've been watching JCW. The matches are 5 minutes tops. 5 to 10 minutes tops, man. Tops. 10 minutes for a main event. I think the longest main event that I saw was like 10, 15 minutes. You know, like that was like the longest main event over the last few weeks that I saw. Right? That is the longest match that I saw. And that's perfect. Right? Like, these perfect. Because you get your point across. Right? You cannot have guys like matches. The matches. Actually, we are going to take a little bit of time on this. The matches. The reason why it hurts people when the matches are too long because now it looks fake. Once, like, dude, you're doing flips, you're doing dips, you're doing dives, you're jumping off of the top rope, turnbuckles, and all this shit. I'm not saying that, you know what I mean, you have to look like an average guy, but an average guy isn't jumping off the top turnbuckle into the fucking announce table, you know, doing a frog splash through an announce table, right, onto somebody else. An average person isn't doing that, right? So that should be enough, right? Like that. If I frog splash you from the top turnbuckle, from the ring, through the announce table, that should be enough. That should be enough. Anybody, I don't care how average you are, how exceptional you are. If somebody jumps from 15 feet away, jumps 10 feet in the air while you're on a table, and they splash you through that fucking table, you're done for. You're done for. You're at least keeping your shoulders down for 3 seconds. At the very least, you're keeping your shoulders down for 3 seconds. You're not kicking out of that. All right? Especially on a week-to-week basis. These motherfuckers are doing shit like this on a week-to-week basis, where they're kicking out of shit that makes absolutely no fucking sense. Right? These motherfuckers are kicking out. Like, this was the most egregious shit that I seen. It was last year on the first episode of Raw on Netflix. Right? It was last year. Right? Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, they were in their tribal combat match, right? Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, they're in this tribal combat match, and in the middle of the match, Solo Sikoa, he picks up, I believe it was a monitor off of the announce table. Now, this is before the announce tables got destroyed and were turned into those big-ass, Tonka truck-ass announce tables that they have now. So he took the monitor off the announce table and he bashed Roman's head in it with it, right? And then he took the steel steps. And he threw them into Roman Reigns' head. This is what Solo Sikoa did. Anybody, like that is attempted murder. Okay, like Solo Sikoa just attempted murder on Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is up 2.5 minutes later, not even 2.5 minutes later, ooh-ahing and hitting the Superman punch on Solo Sikoa. This shit is not real, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can that just makes no sense. You cannot go that far. All right? And then when the match takes 30 minutes, you have 5-6 false finishes in this match every single week. Every single match on the card has 2, 3, 4, 5 false finishes in it. It has to, for some fucking reason, right? This is not okay, right? This is not something that we can sit by and watch because it's not entertaining. Because at some point, I'm gonna sit here and be like, damn, these motherfuckers did all this and nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I'll lay one of these motherfuckers out one punch. You know what I'm saying? One punch. I'm laying some of these dudes out. One punch, and he just got splashed through a table and he's kicking out. That means that guy's weak as fuck. Like, at some point, logically, you're going to think this. Logically, you're going to think, there's no way that this guy is getting slammed through tables and he's just kicking out of this shit. There's no way that this guy just got hit with 5 Cody cutters, right? And, you know what I'm saying? 5 Cody cutters, 5 crossroads, right? 2 RKOs, 4 FUs, and he's still kicking out of it, right? Like, at some point, it just becomes absurd. And it hurts the wrestler that's performing the finisher. It hurts the wrestler that's performing the move that's very dangerous, for one. All right? These matches are dangerous, especially the longer they go on, because you get winded after a while, right? Like, so it hurts everyone, and then it gets nobody over, right? Maybe with the absolute smarks that want 5-star classics every single match, right? Maybe with that very select few people, those select few people on the internet who want 5-star every single time. But if you're telling stories, sometimes a 15-second squash match is just what the doctor ordered. Sometimes Jade Cargill or Braun Breaker or fucking who else? Nia Jax, right? Sometimes they just need to squash somebody. And sometimes it needs to be another main eventer, right? Like, Nia Jax should squash Alexa Bliss on any given day. And then at a pay-per-view, that's when Alexa Bliss should get her comeuppance, right? But on any given day, Nia Jax should be squashing Alexa Bliss because Nia Jax is fucking like 5'10", 300 pounds, right? Like, she's a big broad. I'd fold her ass up like an accordion, fold her ass up like a lawn chair. You know what I'm saying? Show the fuck would. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you would about me. Say what the fuck you want to about me, nigga. But I definitely hit that thing back and smell that back shot air. Show for sure would, right? But Nia Jax, she is going 15, 20 minutes with the likes of Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss is 4'6". This makes no sense. All right? Logically, it's not making any sense. Nia Jax looks weak. She looks weak when she goes that long with somebody like Alexa Bliss. You got to make it make sense. And you got to put it in storyline, man. Now, let's go ahead and get into reason number 7. All right? Now, reason number 7, this is an obvious point, right? We all these are obvious points. I should stop saying that. We have weak heels and stale baby faces, okay? Weak heels and stale baby faces. Now, this problem here is one of the biggest problems that we're going to have in pro wrestling, because the whole thing is about heels and baby faces. It's about good guys and bad guys. That's what pro wrestling is, right? That's what the whole thing is. So once you take that element out of it, once you make that a secondary element, then you're starting to have trouble. So now you have situations where, because you're trying to just have the best match possible, right? The best quality match possible, you're going to have guys like Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes going at it when they're both faces, right? Ilya Dragunov, Sami Zayn, going at it. They're both faces. Sami Zayn, John Cena going at it. They're both faces, right? You're going to have fucking situations where you invert things that aren't supposed to be inverted. Like, heels are supposed to use their advantages over baby faces, and baby faces are supposed to, or not, not all the time, it's not set in stone, but for the most part, definitely, baby faces are supposed to, try to do things the right way, right? Whatever the right way is, and try to get justice. That's the main thing. Baby faces, they want justice. They want to do things that are the right way of doing them. Heels they use underhanded tactics. So why, there was a point in time where the LWO, that I believe they were feuding with, the New Day or something like that, and the LWO, they outnumbered the New Day, and they were jumping the New Day. They just jumped the shit out of the New Day. So now, you're building sympathy for the New Day, but the New Day has already turned heel. So, when you do that, all you're doing is making the New Day look weak, right? Because there's no way they're gonna beat 5 people at once, right? 4 or 5 people at once. They're just not doing it, right? So, things like that, Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis being as tight as they are, as a babyface, that can work in some instances, right? If there are stories that are going along with it. But when Cody Rhodes is just going to Nick Aldis and just getting anything that he wants, right? Nick Aldis just does whatever Cody Rhodes wants. It doesn't matter, and there's no story to it. There's no reason to it. He just does, right? He just likes Cody. There's no reason why he likes Cody. He just does, right? When it's that, right? Whenever it's that, now we're getting to a point where fucking we no longer believe. Right? We can no longer believe in Cody Rhodes and in Nick Aldis, because they're not doing anything besides just getting whatever they want. Right? These are supposed to be baby faces, but they get whatever they want. They don't have any redemption. Right? Cody Rhodes didn't have a redemption arc when he lost his title to John Cena. This is a great example here. Cody Rhodes, when he lost his title to John Cena, Cody Rhodes had an opportunity to have a 2, 3, 4 month, right? Even 6 month redemption arc where, he lost his way. Maybe he did turn heel or whatever the case was, right? He lost his way and he had to make his way back up to the mountaintop, and he could either do it as a babyface or he could do it as a heel. It probably would have been more interesting as a heel. Cody now using underhanded tactics to make his way back to the top and face John Cena again in his final match for the WWE Championship. I think that would have been a lot more compelling than Gunther and all that, right? But this is what they decided to do. Drop the title, Cody Rhodes to John Cena. Cody Rhodes goes on a 6-month, right? A 6-month break. Come back. You get into another feud with John Cena for 3 weeks, and then you win your title back. No redemption. Cody Rhodes is a babyface. Right? John Cena was the heel at the time before he came back and just slapped John Cena, and then all of a sudden John Cena was just babyface again. Cody Rhodes just slapped some sense into him, literally, right? That was just a kick in the ass I needed. What the fuck kind of masochistic BDSM shit is this? What the fuck? You know what I mean? But that's what happened. Cody Rhodes had no redemption arc, and that is constant. Yet somehow Gunther has redemption arcs. Right? Gunther, he doubts himself and then he overcomes the obstacle, right? Gunther, who's a heel, he's the one doing this type of shit. When it should be Cody Rhodes, he's the one doubting himself, doubting that he can do it. Doubting that he can maintain being the WWE Championship because of the obstacle that's ahead of him. Because the obstacle is so hard, and this, that, and the other. But Gunther is having redemption arcs with the likes of fucking Pat McAfee. Gunther is in legit promos and legit storylines, with Pat McAfee. And having legit heat with Pat McAfee. What the fuck? Redemption with Pat McAfee. Doubting himself against Pat McAfee. Sami Zayn. What? AJ Styles, he's doubting himself. What are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing? That's the reason why nobody cares about anybody. There's not even, for most people, I feel like there's not even a reaction for it anymore. It's either a nostalgia pop or it's a, oh, they're here kind of a cheer, right? Or a slight booze, you know what I'm saying, for somebody like a Gunther or somebody like a Dom Mysterio. You might get slight booze here and there, but nobody really cares about anybody anymore because nobody, like, the heel and babyface thing is not exploited. It's not used anymore, right? You got Dom going and facing Rusev. What sense does this make? Rusev is losing by getting kicked in the balls. What are we... Seriously, like, there has to be some kind of logic to this shit. Some kind of actual storytelling element to it where it's not just, oh, these guys are going to have a banger, so let's go ahead and put them on. This doesn't make sense. All right, so we move on. Reason number 8, WWE relies on the elderly a little too much. A little too much, a lot of too much. There have been no champions. Sports Key to put this up the other day. There have been no champions, no WWE champions born in the 90s. Now, if you don't know this, if you're born in the 90s, right? If you were born in 1990, you're this year, you're turning 36. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry to age you like that, player. I'm sorry to do it to you, sister, but I got to, right? You're turning 36 this year. I'm not saying that's old, because it's not, all right? But it's old adjacent, right? Like, it's getting there. You know what I mean? Like, you're on the way. You know what I mean? Like, the back pain and the consistent pain is on the way. I'm just letting you know right now. Okay, and it's okay. It's a beautiful thing. Not everybody gets to do it. Appreciate it while it's here, right? But nobody under 36 has been the WWE champion, right? Nobody under 36, born in the 90s, this new generation. That's still millennials. We're already in Gen X, or not Gen X. We're already in Gen Y, right? The I generation, right? We're already in Gen Z, right? Like we're beyond that. You know what I mean? We're way past the millennials at this point. I'm sorry to age you like this, but I got to do it, right? Because I'm making a point here, right? That we have a bunch of kids that are coming up right now, right? 18 to 30 to 35 years old, 18 to 36, that 18 to 35 demo, right? None of them have anybody to represent them on the show, right? As champion. And so as a consequence, who the fuck are young people cheering for, right? Who's the young up and comer that we're supposed to be getting behind? It's not Braun Breaker, because Braun Breaker's a heel, right? And Braun Breaker as a heel just lost his first really big match, right? Like, this was a really big match against CM Punk. He just lost it, right? That he's done, right? Like, that's like a Ryback situation where, like, Ryback, he lost his first champion, and ever since he lost that first match, it was over after that, right? Like, the trigger should have been pulled, right? But it wasn't, right? And because it wasn't pulled, now Ryback is suffering the consequences for the rest of his life. His career went straight down the shitter, right? Tag team division Ryback. Crazy, right? So, like, I obviously have no problem with older people, you know what I'm saying, like 35 and up, you know what I'm saying, 40 and up, being champion of obviously, it's a TV show, I don't care. But what I am saying is that you have to have demographics represented across the board, right? Because it's a TV show, and you're supposed to be representing you're trying to pull in the mass amount of people as possible, right? You're trying to pull in the most people possible. And if you're trying to do that, then you're not going to do that when you're not representing people properly. The 1835 demo has to be represented properly. Somebody in that demo has to become champion. Somebody has to be an up-and-comer, right? An up-and-comer has to take down an old-timer. And it can't be Braun Breaker and CM Punk, because Braun Breaker, like I said, with this whole inverted shit, right? Braun Breaker cannot overcome CM Punk. It's just not how it can work. That's not how Braun Breaker gets over as a heel. Braun Breaker gets over as a heel by beating CM Punk using underhanded tactics, right? Using pure aggression, right? Pure aggression. Pure heel aggression. That's how Braun Breaker gets over. But that didn't happen, right? So CM Punk, who's nearing 50, now he continues to be WWE champion. Cody Rhodes, who's 40, WWE champion, right? Becky Lynch, who's almost 40, Intercontinental champion. Chelsea Green, I believe she's 36, 37, right? I think she's 37, right? So she fucking US champion. These people are getting up there, and it is what it is. But that's one reason. Okay, that's another reason. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna move on to reason number 9. Is that the titles are meaningless. Titles are meaningless because there's no storylines to promote the titles, right? And as a consequence, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. People will just want to be champion, right? Like that. Sometimes people have the inclination, right? Every now and then, whether you're a jobber or winner, whatever it is, right? You just have the inclination. You're like, you know what? I think it's time I go for the WWE champion. I think it's time I go for an IC championship. I think it's time I go for this championship, right? And then they start feuding with the champion for it, right? Feuding as in, right, they're having brawls and they're having scathing promos every single week, right? And that's just how it happens every single time. Or it's a tournament, right? Oh, we're going to have a tournament for the new women's championships, right? Instead of, we're having these new titles, I'm going to choose my champion, right? And maybe Raw can have a tournament, but over here on SmackDown, I'm going to choose my champion. I'm going to make the lineage, right? Like, give us something. So that way Nick Aldis has something to do, right? That way Nick Aldis doesn't look like a dumbass backstage. He chooses his own champion, right? We'll just do a tournament. This shit's fake, so tournaments don't mean anything. These titles don't mean anything. So it's predetermined scripted wrestling, so what are we doing here? These are not prestigious. You make it prestigious by building storylines, and they haven't done that. So titles are meaningless. Reason number 10, everyone has to be the next someone. I mentioned this before a little bit, but everybody has the next someone. All right? The greats, they had aspirations beyond WWE. Hollywood aspirations, money aspirations, business aspirations, right? The greatest of all time, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, right? John Cena, Shawn Michaels. We'll throw Triple H in there, right? We'll throw fucking Kane, Undertaker, etc., right? These guys had aspirations beyond WWE. Beyond. So, because they had aspirations beyond WWE, they performed their best. They performed in a way that would get the attention of those outside. That's how they became mainstream stars, most of these guys, right? Or were able to go on and do things beyond WWE, like Kane. He's like mayor of like somewhere in like Texas or some shit like that, right? Nob Hill, I think he's the mayor of. I think that's what it's called, Nob Hill, something like that, right? He's the mayor of a town, right? Like, you got to be charismatic as fuck, one, to do that. And then, two, you got to have aspirations. He's a wrestler at some point, right? A pro wrestler, WWE pro wrestler, TV star. So, you got to have aspirations to do that, and none of these guys do. Most of these motherfuckers have aspirations to be the next Eddie Guerrero, right? Every Mexican that comes up is the next Eddie Guerrero, the next Rey Mysterio, right? They can never just be themselves. Right? They have to be shoehorned into a box of, oh, yeah, he's going to be like Rey Mysterio. Oh, he's going to be our next John Cena. Oh, he's going to be our next Triple H. He's going to be our Shawn Michaels. He's going to be our Rock. He's going to be our Stone Cold. He's going to be, like, and that's never going to work. That's never going to work. These guys have to have their own individual personalities, stories, right? They have to have their own characters. They can't be the next, this guy, right? Like, and especially the commentary, they cannot say, like, oh, yeah, he reminds me a lot of Umaga. Now, I'm just like, all right, I'd rather just watch old school wrestling and just see Umaga since, you know, he does kind of just remind me of Umaga, right? Or he does kind of just remind me of John Cena. He does kind of just remind me of, like, a cheap dollar store Randy Orton, right? That guy down in NXT that they're trying to say is Randy Orton's clone or some shit like that, right? Like, he's Randy Orton. No, he's not. He's like 7 inches shorter, 100 pounds lighter. He's not the next nothing, right? He can be the first him, right? Like, be the first you. I don't want to be the next anybody. I don't want to be the next Vince Nobody, Vince Russo, Vince McMahon. I don't want to be the next. I want to be the first Nate the Great. I want to be the first me. I think that's what's important. I want to be the first me. Right? Because that's all I can be. That's the only person I can be. All right? And if I try to be anybody else, guess what? It's going to fail massively because I was put here for a special reason. All right, and that goes for all of us. We were all put here for special reasons, for our own sacred reasons, our own God-given reasons. So, and it's the same for all these wrestlers. They were put there to make their own mark, not to be the next anybody else. All right, and when you do that, you hinder your superstars. So that's the reason I had to throw that in there. So we're going to go ahead and get into reason number 11. And reason number 11 why WWE sucks and will continue to suck in 2026 is the inverted masculinity and femininity of the WWE roster. Now, what do I mean when I say this? Okay, when I say this is what I'm saying. Rhea Ripley is like the most masculine person on WWE Raw. All the men cry and moan and complain and bitch, right? Like Rhea Ripley is more masculine than Drew McIntyre. 6'5", 270 pounds, fucking Scottish beast, right? Somehow her character, if you can even call it that, she's presented more masculine than Drew McIntyre. She has a badder bitch, right? Io Sky is much finer than Drew McIntyre because he has nobody, right? At least, kayfabe wise, right? On the show, we don't see Drew McIntyre's wife, right? We don't see Cody Rhodes' wife, right? We don't see, but Rhea Ripley got her shorty, right? She slapping Io Sky booty. She gripping Io Sky up much like I would, right? She's coming up from behind Io Sky much like I would, right? She's doing it much like I would, and I don't appreciate that, right? Like it feels like the men are doing everything they can to be as non-attractive to women as possible. You know what I mean? Like the way they dress, right? Like CM Punk comes out in like a frumpy sweater and he's like grayed up and he's not presentable for TV at all, right? Like CM Punk comes out looking fucking terrible on a weekly basis, and he just gets an excuse. It's okay, right? Or we come out and fucking what's his name? We got the New Day dressed up as women, basically dressed up as mourning black women, basically is what they're dressed up as. You got fucking Kit Wilson and Prince, the other guy, right? They're over there dressed up as fucking women, basically, right? I mean, I like their characters because they actually have one, they actually have gimmicks, so I appreciate that about them. But it seems like the men are the majority ones that are crying and moaning and complaining and bitching and just being bitches. Like the Roman Reigns and CM Punk were fighting over Paul Heyman. Like they were feuding over Paul Heyman. When Seth Rollins won the World Heavyweight Championship back when after Paul Heyman turned on CM Punk and Roman Reigns, when Seth Rollins won the championship, Paul Heyman hugged him from the back. On some weird, like that's weird, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of strange, bro. And then you got fucking Michael Cole, Corey Graves hopping out the back of a creeper van on this most recent Monday Night Raw. Stranger Things. That was strange, right? that was definitely strange, right? You got them popping out the back of a van. So you got a lot of weird shit going on. And then all the women, they're presented like, masculine, like Stephanie Vaquer, even though she obviously her greatest asset is that asset, man. Obviously, and she's a beautiful woman too. Like, she is beautiful, man. Like Stephanie Vaquer, she's the things I would do to Stephanie Vaquer. Okay, like goodness gracious. Okay, but she's not used like that. She's used as just a fighter, right? Like the men are supposed to be fighters, warriors, and shit like that. But it seems like all the women are just warriors. All the women, they just want to be fighters. They just want to show who's the baddest woman. You know what I mean? Like that's it, right? There's no emotion to any of these women, right? Besides best friend, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Even Lyra and Bayley, they're in a little dominatrix relationship. Lyra slaps the shit out of Bayley so she can act crazy and act how she wants her to, right? Like, what kind of weird shit is this? You know what I mean? what kind of weird ass shit? And everyone that Triple H has pushed, Shayna Baszler attempted push, right? Like fucking Rhea Ripley, her push, Charlotte Flair, all these women built like cereal boxes, built like broad shoulder bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like Charlotte Flair looks good sometimes, but most of the time she comes out looking broad, masculine in the motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, and this is who Triple H is pushing. You know what I mean? This is who he's pushing. Raquel Rodriguez, big broad. Like, hey, would I do some things for Raquel Rodriguez? Absolutely. Okay? You're damn right I sure would. Okay? Jordan Grace, damn right I sure would. Okay? I got my likes. You know what I'm saying? I got my things that I like. So, but either way it goes, you know what I mean? The way that they're presented is more masculine than it is feminine. Okay, it's more masculine. None of them are putting the damsel in distress role because none of them can be damsels. I mean, hell, biggest example I can give you. We have to call Becky Lynch the man somehow. Like, what the fuck? No, nobody else is called the man besides Becky Lynch. But, right, that is what it is. Let's go ahead and move into reason number 12. Reason number 12, too many returns. All right, there's too many returns. And not only just being old superstars coming back, right? Because that happens a lot, right? Like Rusev, right? Andrade coming back right after he already left before, and then comes back, right? So he comes back. Who else, right? Roman Reigns, he makes a return every 2.5 fucking seconds at this point, right? Roman Reigns is always making a return. Roman Reigns, he returned again for the 18th time this year, right? Like, there's just too many returns. Cody Rhodes makes like 4 or 5 returns every year. Randy Orton makes 4 returns every year. Drew McIntyre, he leaves, makes like 9 returns every year, right? Everybody just makes returns, just constant returns, man. Like Liv Morgan makes like 3, 4, 5 returns every year. Rhea Ripley makes 2, 3 returns every year. Everybody makes so many fucking returns. Half of that is Triple H not knowing what the fuck to do, and half of that is the roster being injured. And the reason why the roster gets injured is a bit of the reason why I said earlier, and that's with the matches being too long and the matches being dangerous as fuck, right? Matches being dangerous as fuck. So you have 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds jumping off of fucking barrels and shit like Sheamus and Rusev. These guys are like 45 apiece, right? These guys are 90 years old combined, right? So you got 90 years of age combined jumping off the top of like 6 barrels through tables, right? Like, what are we doing? Why are you putting their lives on the line like that? This shit is dangerous. Yeah, it's scripted. Yeah, it's fake. Of course it is. But it is dangerous. And you can't do shit like that. I mean, you can, obviously. But, like, you can't just do shit like that on a weekly basis, though, to these people. And have their bodies hurting fucking 15, 20, 30-minute matches every single fucking week. That shit takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot. And the moves that they're doing in these matches, those are, like, a lot of them, 90% of these moves, potentially paralyzing, right? These guys are landing on their heads and their necks and they're breaking their noses and, you know, shit like that happens, you know, but like still like it's happening a lot more often than WWE would like to, you know, admit. It's happening a lot. There's a lot of superstars on the injury list right now, right? Fucking Ilya just came back. Bianca's on the injury list, right? Like there's so many people on the injury reserves right now that it's kind of insane. So that's why there's a lot of returns, right? Liv Morgan just got back, right? So many people that have been injured over this last year will be making their return. That's a pop that they have in their back pockets, right? And it's just too much, right? It's too much, man. We gotta scale back the wrestling and infuse more stories, less returns, because returns don't mean much, right? Because if you're out of sight, you're out of mind, right? So it doesn't matter. So let's move away from that, okay? And reason number 13 why the WWE sucks is the consistent lack of storytelling, okay? The lack of storytelling and the they just don't understand. Triple H, Lee Fitting, whoever the fuck, Michael Hayes, all these guys backstage, they don't understand how to write a story. They don't understand how to use tropes properly, right? There's so many tropes that are used in WWE, like the one that's used constantly is love and respect, right? This trope is used improperly so often, right? Because it's just something that's thrown out there. You don't respect me. And that could be something that's powerful. It could be something that's used to make a powerful statement, to have a powerful story, right? But instead of it being used to make a powerful story, it's used for what? Brawls and a couple of wrestling matches, right? It's not anything deeper than that, right? Like, yeah, some of these guys, they disrespect each other's families, they disrespect each other's legacies, their last names, things like that, because they have to get so personal in these promos, like where they have to bring in real life stuff where if you're not a mark, if you're not a fan, like, you know, if you're just a casual guy, you don't know anything about these guys' personal lives. You don't know any of these guys' wives' names or none of this stuff like that. But they have to get so personal just so they can elicit a little bit of a reaction. Because instead of being able to build a storyline that elicits a reaction, they have to do it another way, right? Because they can't do it that way. They tried, right? Anytime Triple H tries to be creative and do storyline, right? It's always the same shit. It's friendship and then betrayal, right? And it's always the same slow cooked ass, right? I'm gonna stare at your title. I'm gonna stare at you. I'm gonna do something completely retarded, right? Like I'm gonna run out after you said not to run out, right? I'm gonna do this, do that, right? I'm gonna cost you a match. This, that, and the other. It's always the same trope, right? It is used over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Like almost every other week, right? Somebody's doing this shit to somebody else, right? It gets to a point of absurdity, right? It's beyond absurdity where every week seems like a copy and paste week, right? Where it's multiple 30-minute matches, a bunch of backstage segments that have absolutely nothing to do with anything, right? All they are is just talking up their next match instead of, you know, talking about something, right? Right, build something, build a story, build something from the ground up, right? Like I said, like with John Cena's last match, or Cody Rhodes' redemption, like his failed redemption with Roman Reigns' OTC arc, it absolutely fucking sucked. All right, because there was nothing there, right? Well, okay, Roman Reigns, he comes back, he says acknowledge me, he does the ooh-wah and a couple Superman punches, a couple spears, right? Oh, that's enough. He should be over like that. Like, no, he needs a story. Like, the Bloodline, it was a continuous storyline. Did it suck at times? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It kind of dragged at times, for sure. You know, especially during that last year when Triple H officially took over. Oh my goodness, it was awful. Everything in the Bloodline was awful. But it's because he has no idea how to structure these stories, how to make these stories impactful, how to use characters and use their different characteristics to have conflict with one another, and when those conflicts enact, build up to a climax, right? He doesn't understand how to do that, right? So because he doesn't understand how to do that, all we are subjected to on a weekly basis is just wrestling matches, just people saying, I want to be the best, just people saying, please don't disrespect me, I want to be the best wrestler, right? I wanted to do this since I was a kid, you know, shit that nobody cares about, stuff that people can't relate to, right? I can relate to other things, right? Like I'm a normal average guy, right? Like I relate to other shit. I can't relate to wanting to be WWE champion. I can't relate to wanting to be world heavyweight champion. I can't relate to this kind of stuff. I can't relate to somebody, you know what I'm saying? I can't relate to going after a female. You know what I mean? Having eyes on a female, not being able to get one, or getting one and being happy, gratitude, or getting one, being gracious, and then, you know, doing something else, fucking, you know, mistreating the lady, or whatever the case might be, you know, being young, being dumb, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Those are things I can relate to, right? I can relate to getting in fights with people over, you know, certain, you know, actual shit that matters, you know, like, you disrespect my family, sure, right? But take it a step further, right? Like, Randy Orton actually punted John Cena's father's head to smooth off, you know what I mean? Like, you know, shit like that. Like, you gotta take this stuff further. You know what I mean? Like Randy Orton kissing Stephanie McMahon in front of Triple H while Triple H is handcuffed. You know what I mean? Sexually assaulting Stephanie McMahon in front of him. Like shit like that. Like you have to actually you got to come up with stuff like that on a week-to-week basis, and that's hard to do for sure. You know what I mean? It's a tough job, but it's one that Triple H begged for. It's one he asked for. So it's something that he has to do. He has to come up with these storylines on a week-to-week basis, and he has to come up with something for everybody. Everybody can't be the same guy. Everybody can't be the same copy and paste guy, just wanting to be the next best guy, right? These guys have to have different motivations. One guy wants to have, as much money as possible. One guy wants as much women as possible. One guy wants as much power as possible. One guy wants as much respect as possible. One guy, he's just trying to get by, right? One guy is just there for the laughs. One guy is just there because, he knew somebody's cousin, this, that, and the other. So he's just there giving out waters to people. And then sometimes he gives out advice. I don't know. Give me something. Give me different characteristics, different archetypes of these characters, as opposed to the same shit that we get on a week-to-week basis. Just the same old, I want to be the best wrestler this century. I want to be the next Hogan. I want to be on the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Like, shut up. Shut up, you fucking nerd. You fucking nerd. Shut up. This shit is not real. All right? Make an impact. And then maybe we can talk about a Mount Rushmore. Make an impact. Be somebody. Become your own thing. And that goes for everybody. That Triple H, all of them. Because Triple H, all he can do is pilfer Vince McMahon's old shit. CM Punk already built by Vince McMahon, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Sami Zayn even. Fucking all these guys that he's using, right? None of these guys were built up by Triple H. Anybody that Triple H has attempted to build up, Seth Rollins, any of these guys that Triple H has attempted to build up has completely failed. That's why nobody cares about anything now. There's no storylines, nothing. All right? And this has been 13 Reasons Why WWE Sucks and why WWE will continue to suck in 2026. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Very long video. You know what I mean? But I felt like we had to do this. You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys thought about this video down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. All right? And this has been your boy, back with another video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.